Hello, my name is Adriana Marino, and I'm host and producer of Bend into Balance, powered by The Source. Today, I am with Dorian Adam. He is part of the TRX team, the family team, and he also started Embark Fitness some years ago. He's been in Bend for 14 years, where he continues to coach, train very actively. Dorian, thank you so much for being here. Can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much, Adri,
Yeah.
for this invite. I'm happy to be here. I'm Dorian Adam, and just excited as always.
I can tell. Um, since talking to you the first time, I was kind of very interested by your story, having grown up in a city, New York, nonetheless, and
Yes.
really enjoy discovering the joy of movement in Central Park, if I'm not mistaken. Can you kind of tell us about your story and how you
Yeah.
got into this?
Sure. A little kid many years ago, growing up in the city is it's a blessing and a curse, maybe both. Concrete jungles, um, but my friends and I, in the winter, especially, would head over to Central Park
Mm.
and find ourselves with our sleds on these big granite outcroppings, trying to sled down, but often tumbling down.
Uh-huh.
The whole way down, we would be going, wee, like this is so much fun,
Yeah.
bruised, cut, what have you, and then run up as fast as we possibly could. And so it wasn't until many years later that that had a uh, that helped define not only who I am, but what fitness really meant to me, which was really the just have fun. And as a byproduct of that fun, fitness became a big part of my life.
How did that begin? Afterwards,
Sure.
I mean, once,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Going through early school, it wasn't that big of a thing. It was just play, right? We always played. Moving on to high school, I played some sports in high school, which I realized, wow, you need to be fit to play soccer. That was one of my big sports in high school. And I realized I could do this. There's a good story there.
Uh-huh.
That My parents moved us to Eastern Long Island.
Okay.
I think I was 13 or 14. We moved to a little town called Stony Brook, which is
Oh,
a
yeah.
beautiful place on the north shore of Eastern Long Island. And I was in junior high school then, which was seventh, eighth, and ninth grade. And then high school was 10th, 11th, and 12th. And I hadn't played a lot of organized sports being in the city. It was more about, stickball and kicking a soccer ball in the streets.
Right.
But my parents convinced me that soccer may be a good sport for me to give a shot
Mhm.
at. And I tried out for the junior high school team when I was in ninth grade
Uh-huh.
and immediately found myself on the varsity team at our high school, which was Ward Melville High School. And so suddenly I was thrust into this different school
Right.
to compete. And that not necessarily wasn't a lot of fun initially
Okay.
because, I'm with all these much older high school
Sure.
seniors and juniors, me only being a freshman at the
Yeah.
time. I found myself in uh, corners, being asked questions like, why
Uh-huh.
are you even here?
Yeah.
And so that kind of fueled me quite a bit in terms of competing and then drawing back on my upbringing of I just need to focus on fun. And if
Uh-huh.
I have fun, I think it's all going to work out.
Yeah.
And
That's an early insight at that
yeah,
age to
yeah,
really
for sure. And it hit me again as well in college with coaches really kind of focusing on the outcome as opposed to the process
yeah.
and having fun and being joyful as you do this. So I had to really get my mindset sort of locked in most times that I would just close my eyes, take a deep breath
Mhm.
before whatever it was that I was competing at and say, I'm going to have fun.
So that has always been a driving force for you, just keeping the fun at the
100%.
core.
And that is a thread that is with me today.
Yeah.
In my training, a big part of it is fitness could and should, in my point of view,
Sure.
uh, be a byproduct of the fun.
Yeah.
It's not the grind.
Mhm.
I mean, it is a grind if your context is such, but
Yeah.
if you want to have fun with it, it can be done.
Okay. And so taking this element of fun, how did it fuel your passion for sports, for fitness? How did you later become part of this TRX family team?
Sure. Yeah. Uh, well, I think the fun part began to be contagious. So I noticed some of
Mhm.
my teammates would be like, "Why are you having so much fun?
Uh-huh.
Like we're dying out here." And
Yeah.
you're just like, "Ha ha ha." And I said, "Well, try it, like just get your mind right. Think about having fun as you do this." Even the coaches picked up on, I think, there were on the soccer team, at least, there were probably 6 of us out of our starting team
Yeah.
that went out there laughing and giggling and saying, "Let's really have fun." And so we ended up just becoming more creative
Mhm.
with our play, which,
Sure.
soccer is one of those sports where you can be very creative. Tennis is a sport where you can be quite creative. Um, and then after school, um, I had a family friend. This is Randy Hetrick, who is the founder of TRX,
Okay.
who eventually invited me into that family. That was a number of years later. That was in 2008, roughly.
Okay.
And my role there was to focus on whatever I wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
And
That sounds like fun.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And my focus was what I call today life sports. These are sports of a lifetime, such as tennis and golf, cycling, skiing. We
Mhm.
could do these things when we're
Swimming.
swimming
Yeah.
totally when we're
Mhm.
2 or when we're 100.
Yeah.
So that was my charge, was to really focus on whichever sport I wanted to focus on, which
Uh-huh.
became tennis,
Okay.
and just developed a business unit from there in the space and still work in that space as
Okay.
well.
Okay. But using the TRX bands as a core of that training.
Yes, yeah. And I apologize, Adri.
Yeah.
We don't call them bands.
I'm sorry. Thank you for the correction. I make mistakes
They're
all the time.
straps.
Straps. I'm sorry. Thank
There's
you.
no they're static, right? So
Okay.
there's no elasticity
Got
to
it.
the
That makes
band, and
sense.
that's a really key piece of why the TRX is so good for us.
Well,
Uh,
tell us about that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So just that piece of
Yeah.
it allows us to really activate the core with
Okay.
anything we do on it, whether our feet are in the foot cradles or we're doing a simple row. If
Uh-huh.
your core is not
Engaged.
turned on,
Yeah.
you will fall. And in all my years around TRX, which have been many, I've never seen anybody fall.
Okay.
So we know they're using the core.
Right.
Um, and sorry, the rest of your
You
question
know,
was
how did the TRX straps
yes, yes.
become, because I remember that the first time we spoke, Dorian, you mentioned something that they were developed by
Yeah,
uh, um,
Navy
Navy
SEAL.
SEAL. If yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
I was like, wow, that's
yeah.
interesting. So tell
So
me how.
Randy, the
Mhm.
founder of the TRX, was in the service, and he was Navy SEAL. He was the commander of SEAL Team 6, which is like the ultimate SEAL team.
Okay.
And they were often in places like submarines or safe houses
Sure.
where there's really no fitness equipment.
Yeah.
And you could be held up there for months at a time. And so that's where Randy first came up with this incarnation of a TRX, which was made out of a jitsu belt
Uh-huh.
and some parachute material.
So
When you're in the service, you also learn how to sew.
sure.
So he sewed this rudimentary device together, used it on a submarine actually
Oh, that's brilliant.
initially, and
Uh-huh.
his whole team was able to use it, and they felt like we're getting something out of this. So at any moment when you're called to, duty,
Yeah.
you have some level of fitness, you're ready to jump out and do your job. So that's how it started.
That's so cool. So he saw that because of the confinement, the restricted spaces, he needed a way to keep his men
Yep,
active, strong, and he developed these straps.
that's right.
Uh,
So he came up with it then. He finished his service.
yeah,
Randy is definitely one of these people that's ready for the next challenge.
yeah.
Um, so let's see, his undergrad, he went to USC. He ended up going to Stanford
Oh,
to get
mhm.
his MBA.
Okay.
And it was there that a number of his professors were kind of knocking on his head, going, Randy, you have to have something in there that
Yeah.
seems meaningful, like in terms of business. And that's when Randy said, well, there was this one thing, I think, look, can we talk about it? And they kind of helped him with figuring out that there is a lot there, the intellectual property, um, a number of patents, quite a few patents
Right.
on the TRX,
Uh-huh.
and then he finished off his MBA and started a company.
Wow.
Out of his car to begin with, out of his trunk, selling TRXs to people in Marin County, I think is probably where it first started for him. And then, um, the business morphed and grew from there. I was invited into that at about that time.
Mhm.
And there are some just wonderful stories, both good and bad, about how the product began to grow and catch fire
Yeah.
and then decline a little bit, but grow again
Uh-huh.
and then explode, literally, like just take off.
The pandemic, I imagine it helped
Uh,
m
yeah, I
people
think
needing to
I
stay at
think
home or
it did
uh-huh.
during the pandemic, but there were a few moments in time when
Mhm.
the TRX became something more.
Okay.
Um, and I think the first time I kind of felt that was so there's a quarterback from the NFL,
Yeah.
Drew Brees, who ended up winning a Super Bowl. But at the time, we connected with his trainer, who happened to be at a health and fitness show. I think that was in San Diego that year, called URSA,
Mhm.
and it's no longer URSA, but at the time it was URSA. He found us in a corner with a little TRX strap and
Yeah.
said, "What's this?" And
Uh-huh.
it was explained to him that this can do these things and help athletes and pretty much everybody. We always felt like this is a very democratic type of product.
Uh-huh.
We could work with professional athletes, we could work with the general population. Today, I train folks with Parkinson's who use the TRX.
Oh,
So
wow. It's
it's a
really
very
versatile.
democratic approach
Yeah.
to fitness, which was a big thing. But yeah, so this gentleman who was the trainer for Drew Brees said, "Okay, let me try this,"
Uh-huh.
and took it back and began to work with Drew, nursed his allegedly at that moment career-ending shoulder injury back to health with
Okay.
this product. And then there was a big article written in Sports Illustrated about how Todd Durkin, who was the trainer, got Drew Brees to win a Super Bowl using the TRX.
Wow, that was huge.
So today we still call it the Breeze Bump,
Uh-huh.
in terms of the, kind of the hockey stick of revenue,
Sure, it really
and
put you guys on the map.
it really did.
Uh-huh.
Um, and, I think the approach initially was, uh, I'm going to use this word, myopic. It was very focused on elite athletes, which I understood. There was a lot of discussion with our board and the executive team about, is this where we really want to go with it? Um, and it was initially, but we believe that, it'll trickle down to everybody else, which it did, and really did put TRX on the map.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, for somebody who's never seen a TRX strap, can you tell us a little bit about
Yeah.
what it looks like, how it works, what's its power, why it's
Sure.
so, you know, democratic, as you say, why kind of.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of things about it that make sense. We consider it a simple machine. There's not a lot of moving parts, not a lot of pieces that can break. There are two straps, they're connected, and they're held at a single anchor point. So we see a lot of these out there today that have multiple anchor points, which don't challenge the core the same way. So there's a fulcrum, which is where that carabiner at the very top of the
Mhm.
strap is anchored to an anchor point, a stable anchor point, and you have two handles and then foot cradles, which are attached to these handles.
Okay.
They're pretty iconic at this point.
Yeah.
They're this yellowish gold and black and gray strap, black handles. Um, and it's truly remarkable what they could do. But again, back to the core, um, a lot of people, trainers, physios, I studied some biomechanics in college and realized the core is fairly essential with all the things we do. So goes the core, so goes the rest of your performance.
Mhm.
So this tool initially, I think there was a lot of focus on the core work with it, but we soon realized that people could train shoulder to shoulder at any fitness level. So we could have Drew Brees sitting right where you are or standing, and right next to you, we could have a 70-year-old general population guy
Mhm.
doing the same exercise, just modified by moving your feet.
Okay.
And so that was the real magic, was
Uh-huh.
being able to find a room of people of all different fitness levels that could actually complete the same exercise movement pattern, but just with a slight modification.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty amazing
Wow.
because it wasn't I don't think it ever was written up that way. Like, this
Uh-huh.
is how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And not that we stumbled upon that, but I think how it all sequenced was pretty important. We always joked, I still joke
Mhm.
today that it could be a TRX, it could be a rock, it could be a pine cone.
Uh-huh.
That's the tool. What we put around it is extremely important. TRX was built on that. So if
Mhm.
we think of a triangle or a pyramid, at the top of that pyramid was the TRX,
Uh-huh.
and the foundation of it was education and programming.
Got
So
it.
those two things, if we had the rock at the top
Uh-huh.
and we programmed it and we built education around how are we going to use that rock,
Sure.
we could probably not come up with the same exact magic,
Mhm.
but we could do some good things with that.
Cool. And joy right in the middle.
For sure,
Uh-huh.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, from TRX, you were in charge of life sports.
Correct.
How did
That's
that
right.
work?
Yeah, yeah. So, just great stuff. Another great story. So early, um, I really wanted to work closely with the USTA, which is the governing body of tennis
Uh-huh.
for the US. There are governing bodies for most countries and regions of the world. And through a mutual friend, I was introduced to a gentleman by the name of Dr. Mark Kovacs,
Okay.
who at the time was the head of strength and conditioning for the USTA,
Wow.
and
Mhm.
had a quick conversation with him. He invited me out to where they were headquartered at that time,
Uh-huh.
which was in Boca,
I was gonna think,
in
yeah,
Florida.
Florida, I imagined.
And so went out there to the Everett Tennis Academy, which is Chris Everett's brother who
Oh,
ran this,
sure.
and met with Mark, and we did a few things. We chatted about kind of the protocols that we thought would make sense for tennis. Demonstrated some exercises, and he said, he like a light bulb kind of went off, and
Uh-huh.
he said, "Okay, we need to talk more, but before that, please come with me." And I said, "Okay, Mark, let's go. Wherever I'm thinking we're gonna go hit tennis balls or
Sure.
something." So we end up walking through this corridor into this like big gym area. And in a lot of gyms, there are like these double doors that you kind of pull open, and all the the bouncy balls
Right.
and like
All the
the things, the
equipment.
scooters, all the
Yeah.
things are in there.
Right.
And
The mats.
we get up to the door and he's like, just step back a little bit. I'm like, okay. And he
Uh-huh.
opens the door and the doors, and it's full of every kind of piece of fitness equipment you can believe. I mean, shake weights, different types of bands, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me and he said, just so you know, the TRX will never end up in this room. And
He said that?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
he was saying basically like this is all defunct. These are not the tools we use.
Okay.
So the TRX will not go into this
I see.
closet that's collecting dust.
Got it.
We're
Okay.
going to keep it and use it. Right.
Okay.
So that's really how it began
Uh-huh.
with the USTA, and we developed a protocol with them for them to use with their high performance program and their youth players, their highly developed players,
Mhm.
um, which really caught on and still today, many professional players, you know, most athletes at that level like to keep some secrets
Yeah,
about,
they
it's the
do.
secret
Mhm.
sauce. How do they do this? Um, but I would say TRX is probably in everybody's repertoire to some degree. And if it's not, it's sad. It should
Yeah,
be.
it should be. Yeah.
Um, so that was one big moment for
Mhm.
tennis for me. But there were other big moments in terms of generating business. Uh, I was also delivering education for the company around tennis and fitness.
Okay.
And there was a moment there that was fun. I was delivering a course, a
Uh-huh.
TRX training course in London, which had everything to do with tennis and fitness. And the head of racket sports for Virgin Active, which is a big company owned by Richard Branson,
Okay.
uh, he was there and he
Mhm.
was like, "Oh my gosh, this is pretty cool. This could really
Yeah.
maybe do
Yeah.
something for us." And when we finished, he came up, we had a little drive-by conversation and he said, "So, you may get an email from Richard, and
Uh-huh.
if you do, like, just please respond to it, whatever you want, but just respond to him."
Right, don't
It's like,
ignore it.
"Okay."
Yeah.
And of course, I promptly forgot about that. A
Mhm.
couple of weeks later, I had an email from Richard Branson. I don't know if he wrote it, but
Yeah.
somebody wrote it
Uh-huh.
on his behalf, and
Okay.
they invited me to his island, Necker Island in the Caribbean,
Uh-huh.
and he wanted to learn all about this training tool, like firsthand.
Oh, wow.
So,
They gave a one-to-one to Richard.
yeah, so I got to spend a good bit of time with him,
Mhm.
and I learned a lot from him, but also uh, he is a force. He is just a very humble person, and anyway, that was
Yeah.
also a great experience, and
Yeah.
Virgin signed on to,
Uh-huh.
using this product for tennis,
Yeah.
and their belief was, or Richard's belief was, what you have done, if you go to London and you ride the tube, just before you get off the subway, they always say, "Mind the gap,"
Yes.
don't fall
Yeah.
through and
Mhm.
die. And, so he said to me, that was the thing that stuck with me was, "You know what? You are minding the gap between tennis and fitness. Nobody is doing this in sport, so you could actually play your sport and also train for your sport at the same time." This is a product we developed called TRX Cardio Tennis. That's what Virgin Active bought into.
Got it.
But Richard was intrigued by the fact that he was like going through all the sports in his mind, going, "What other sport can we actually train and play at the same time?" And with this product, TRX Cardio Tennis, you're able to do both at the same time. So he felt like you're minding the gap,
I see.
and that was a big thing for him to cross pollinate his membership. So he had a lot of tennis players.
Uh-huh.
All they did was play tennis.
Right.
They didn't want to get into the gym. They thought their fitness comes directly from the sport. And then there were a bunch of fitness people in the gym that would never play tennis.
Oh,
So his belief was if we brought a fitness product
uh-huh.
onto the court, we would bring a lot of these fitness people right over there with them,
That's
and they would
brilliant.
catch a new sport. And then at the same time, these people who play tennis, they're getting some fitness on court,
Yeah,
but they're also going to go into the gym and cross train, which at the time, cross training certainly was a thing,
right.
but not a big thing.
Ah,
And I think it became a bigger thing with this product, at least.
yeah. That's so interesting. So it was kinda like the merging of 2 silos and not keeping them separate.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I think at least from Richard's point of view, he didn't believe necessarily in building new markets,
Right.
new things.
Uh-huh.
He felt like we could take existing things and run some parallel process to bring them together.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what we did with TRX cardio tennis. And
Yeah.
he saw it. I was like, "Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it."
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there is one other story with
Yeah,
Richard I should
I wanna
tell.
hear it.
So we got a chance to play
Uh-huh.
some tennis
The 2 of
together.
you.
We
Singles?
played doubles,
Doubles,
and
okay.
he
I used to play tennis, so
okay.
yes.
So he played with, a gentleman who I don't think I could share his name, but he played tennis on the tour,
Mhm.
pretty contemporary, and then I played tennis with Richard's, personal pro who lived
Okay.
on the island and
Uh-huh.
gave him lessons, and Richard is pretty good, I think he was in his 60s about
Mhm.
that time, but super fit, decent player, and, so we're playing this match, I'm playing with Richard's pro,
Mhm.
and Richard begins to, um, kinda yell at me a little bit and
Uh-huh.
curse at me,
Oh,
and
wow.
so I'm looking at his pro, Mike, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Mike,
What's going
what's up?
on?
What,
Yeah. It's
should
just
I
not part of the
should I
deal.
not play? Like,
Right.
should I take it easy?" And Mike said, "No, no, you gotta play. If you don't, he won't respect you, and,
Yeah.
it's not gonna go well." I'm
Mhm.
like, "Okay, okay." So,
Okay.
like, I'm really competing and playing, and, continues to yell at me, and I'm like, "Mike, you're setting me up, like, this doesn't seem right."
Right.
And he said, "No, no, it'll all be good." So the match is over. My team won, Mike and I won.
Uh-huh.
Richard comes up to the net like we always do and
Right.
shake hands,
Yeah.
and he's, like, crushing my hand,
Oh my
shaking
goodness.
this, yelling at me, cursing at me, "You stupid American,
Uh-huh.
you have to respect me, you shouldn't have been doing what you were doing." I was like, "What was I doing?" And while we're shaking hands, he points through his beach house that goes out to a beautiful dock with some beautiful boats and said, "So, do you see the boat on the far end on the left?" I said, "Yeah, that's amazing." And he said, "I think you told me you sail a little bit." I said, "Yeah, yeah, I'd love to sail." He said, "Great. Get all your stuff, and I'm throwing you off my island. Go get on the boat and leave."
No
And
way.
and he's still shaking my hand, and
He didn't wanna see you ever again.
I'm looking at Mike going, "Dude, you really you messed me up." And then I look back at Richard, and Richard's just laughing at
Oh
me,
my
just
goodness.
smiling. Yeah, I
You
pretty
scared
much had
me.
a heart attack at that
I can
moment.
imagine.
But it's those stories
Mhm.
and those encounters and experiences that still today, um, not that I think about them, but I reflect on these times where Richard isn't, he's a very successful business person. Um, but, his whole mantra was, "I'd never worked a day in my life." I never looked at it that way.
Yeah.
I've always thought about, you know, just having fun. I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, me too."
Yeah.
Like, this is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, good
That's a
stuff.
great story. I'm glad it had a sweet ending. So
Me too.
did you get out on the boat?
No, no, no.
Oh,
We
okay.
didn't we didn't do
Okay.
any of that. We then played with brown lemurs, in his yard. You know what
Uh-huh.
lemurs are?
No, I don't.
They're like, almost extinct at this point. It's kind of oh, I'll chop this up, but it looks a lemur looks a little bit like a monkey,
Oh,
and,
okay.
they're beautiful. They have these big fireball red
Uh-huh.
eyes,
Yes.
and, I had to when we were finished, I was taking these TRXs, which you mount right on a tennis court. I was taking them off the court, but I had to go around the back of the court where the lemurs were,
Uh-huh.
and, nobody told me about the lemurs. So, all I was told was, "When you go through that first gate, just
Mhm.
make sure it's closed because then there's a second gate," and, obviously, I'm not so smart, so I just went through the gates, closed them,
Right.
I'm out there, and I hear some rustling in, the palm trees or something, and turn around, and there's a family of brown lemurs, staring at me,
Uh-huh.
scaring me.
I can imagine.
And, like, Mike was out there at that point, his pro. I'm like,
Mhm.
"Are they gonna kill me or what?"
Yeah.
He's like, "No, no, don't worry about them."
Uh-huh.
Like, "Why didn't you tell me about
Yeah.
them so I wouldn't be so scared?" But
Mhm.
anyway, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a fun adventure.
Yeah. So what did you learn about fitness through your years at TRX, and how does that eventually lead you to coming to Bend, starting your first gym before you started Embark Fitness?
Sure, yeah. Uh, so, I mean, I think on the corporate side, well, TRX taught me a lot of things. I mean, this is a startup, right? Bootstrap startup. We had some funding, we got some more funding. We always had, kind of a roadmap of where we were heading. Um, we all wore a lot of different hats.
Yeah.
We pivoted a lot from one thing to the next. And for me, I loved it. I thought this is a great frenetic pace that I don't know if I could do it my whole life,
Yeah.
but I get it. And
Uh-huh.
eventually peeled away from that.
Okay.
At the time, we were living in the San Francisco area. This company was based in San Francisco, and
Mhm.
we just had a child, and we thought, "Is this the place we wanted to raise our kid?" And
Yeah.
my wife and I said, maybe let's explore a little bit." And we
Mhm.
had some good friends who live here in Bend who
Okay.
invited us up, and we any time we go anywhere, we think, "Could we ever live in at this particular place?"
Sure.
And when we looked at each other, we thought, "Oh, yes, this could be the spot
Yeah.
to raise our kiddo."
Uh-huh.
And that was it. So we came here,
Okay.
and, yeah, I think I knew I wanted to do something in fitness. I wasn't sure what it was exactly, but probably within 6 months built, a business plan, realized I do wanna be in the fitness business.
Mhm.
I wanna own a fitness studio, not nothing big,
Right.
but really focus on the things that I like to focus on, which are relationships, um and yeah, and just jumped in and built a fun community. Bend has changed a lot in those 14 years. We've seen a lot of fitness businesses come and go. We've seen quite a few, as you know, franchises come to town.
Mhm.
Some have been successful, some haven't. Even today, we're seeing the defection of many of these are in trouble, like the F-45s, um, different cycling brands,
Yeah.
different fitness brands are having a tough time.
Uh-huh.
And I I think a lot about that. Coming from TRX, which I always felt we're an authentic company. We want to be true to our belief. We don't want to sell out or be something we're not.
Mhm.
And so this is, and I know I'm getting off a
No.
little bit, but
Mhm.
this is where I'm seeing even today private equity come in and buy up brands and open, a ridiculous number of units or come into markets such as
Mhm.
Bend. And I feel like they lose the soul of what this is really about.
Yeah.
It's more transactional.
Mhm.
Maybe these classes are big. Maybe they have 40 people in a class. Great for the economics of the business,
Right.
but harder to build a distinct community that has each other's back, that trains shoulder to shoulder,
Right.
which is something we always talked about with TRX and
Mhm.
how we could be right next to an elite athlete or somebody with Parkinson's or
Yeah.
what have you.
Mhm.
So I think what drives me still
Yeah.
is to find that authentic audience that
Mhm.
is interested in that and not just a transaction, not going to a class of 40 people and
Right.
being a number
Yes.
or, okay, it's your turn, get in there kind of thing.
Mhm.
We're all very close. And the word tribe is not necessarily the right word to use these days, but it is. These are
It's a
just a
family.
tight
Yeah.
family of folks
Uh-huh.
who love to train together, have fun together, sweat together, and get stronger together, and then go out together
Yeah.
often.
Why do you think the community aspect to embark into your why is important? How does that transform your business
Yeah,
and also your purpose?
sure. Yep. Good question. Um, First of all, I think it's authentic. There's nothing. Yeah, we're very transparent with what we do.
Mhm.
It's transparent with what I do. Um, the community, we all have coffee every Friday, or
Uh-huh.
a bunch of us go out for little things and
Mhm.
do that. And I'm sure others do in other
Sure.
businesses.
Mhm.
Uh, but it's something that I really believe, again, back to the TRX and the power of the TRX. When you train shoulder to shoulder with somebody, you learn a lot about
Yes.
that person. It's
Mhm.
very much like playing tennis. Like when
Mhm.
I play tennis, I learn so much about the person I'm playing with. And I also think about, this is kind of a metaphor for life. We win, we lose, we compete,
Yeah.
all of those things. So without thinking about the competitive part of fitness, which
Uh-huh.
there's quite a bit of that. We see High Rocks, which is, it's taken over the world with these competitions and everybody's competing and great. That's a big, huge community, just like CrossFit, big, huge community, fantastic. Um, for me, it's different in that we're not necessarily competing um, uh, like transparently. It's not like, okay, what's your personal best? What's
Yeah.
this? What's that? When you're on a TRX and you're doing a squat and somebody's doing it next to you better, you want to do better.
Mhm.
And so it's not about numbers or how many, it's about quality. It's about this sort of quiet competition
Mhm.
internally.
Yes.
And I think that's really good for the body and the mind,
Mhm.
because we're not out there going, rah, rah, and I have to beat you at this.
Right.
It's more about, I want to get better doing this.
Yeah.
So, not sure if I answered your question, but
No, what from what I was curious to know, like, why the community aspect is so important to your purpose
yeah,
at Embark, but what I'm understanding is that the power of numbers, having other people both, that you can look up to and kind of say, "I wanna do that," is a positive thing
yeah,
for your community.
exactly. Without the numbers, right?
Uh-huh.
Like we don't
Right, yeah,
need
just the
the
example.
numbers.
Mhm.
Exactly. And, to see some extremely young, fit individuals standing next to, again, somebody who may be 60 or 50, but killing it,
Yeah,
it's inspirational,
sure.
it's motivational, um, and I think it works. And I think that's why we've been able to, sustain this community. We got through COVID.
Uh-huh. That's
We
impressive.
we grew
Yeah.
stronger together.
Okay.
Um, and we're still cranking away.
Yeah. The other day, I had just dropped off my son just a couple of blocks away from Embark,
Mhm.
the Pacific Crest soccer fields. And I looked down at Embark, off Skyliner Road, and I saw you out there with an elderly fellow.
Mhm.
He could have been easily close to his 80s. And he was working out, and you were right next to him, coaching him. And I was impressed by that scene. I'm like, seeing you in action next to a client, they're not by themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 for sure. I mean, that's a big part of our business is, working individually one-on-one with many of our clients,
Yeah.
and that's a big joy for me as well, because again, there it's much deeper than the training. It's a relationship.
Uh-huh.
These are amazing relationships that you know span years, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
These are friends. They become friends.
So how does Embark look like inside? What
Yeah,
what's the fitness model
sure.
look like?
Yeah,
Because you have a lot of elite athletes as well who choose to train there,
we
right?
do. Yeah. So it's first of all, we're a boutique fitness
Hmm.
studio, right? So
Okay.
it's not a big box with where everybody's doing everything at the same time.
Right.
We break down our stations, if you
Uh-huh.
will. But really, the primary training tool is the TRX.
Hmm.
And if you look into our studio, you'll see a bar hanging down from the ceiling that's about 45 feet long. And on that bar are TRXs that are hanging in each direction. So you're training on both sides of that bar.
Hmm.
So that's a big, obviously, component.
Sure.
TRX has another product that we have in there
Uh-huh.
called the TRX Rip Trainer,
Okay.
which is an asymmetrical training tool. So
Oh.
it's
Uh-huh.
really these two products together. We used to call them, I still call them peanut butter and jelly.
Uh-huh.
So the TRX is very much focused on the kinetic chain and the core.
Okay.
And then the Rip Trainer is really core dominant due to the nature of it being an asymmetrical training tool, which does have a tension band
Okay.
on one side of this bar. So if you could imagine a bar,
Uh-huh.
like a 10-pound bar, 8 pounds, 5 pounds, uh, with a cord attached to the other end. This is an elastic cord with tension.
Uh-huh.
And if you just have that and you move away from the anchor point, you're going to feel this tugging on this one side of you.
Okay.
And your job is to maintain tension
Uh-huh.
there.
Okay.
And that's what works your core asymmetrically, one side at a time.
Got it. Okay.
And then we work on rotation and all sorts of other things with the Rip
Uh-huh.
Trainer. And then we have some ski ergs, which is a big thing these days, which I love. They sort of simulate a cross country ski move, if
Oh,
you will.
cool. Yeah.
And we have Airdyne bikes,
Uh-huh.
which are wind driven turbine bikes that you use your arms and your legs with.
Oh, wow. Must be a
Um,
good workout then.
it is. It's a very deceptive workout. We use both of those products a lot for intervals, the ski erg as well as
Huh.
the Air 9.
Okay.
And then we have a cycling studio as well. So this is a hybrid nature of our boutique studio, which is a performance driven cycling program using a stages program, using stages bikes with built in power meters where people do want to see their data.
Yeah.
I think this has a lot to do with Bend. It's why
Mhm.
we went with this particular program.
Got it.
Uh, and then again, we love to cross pollinate
Uh-huh.
the cyclist with the fitness. And then we love to get the people who just want to do their fitness into the cycling room. Um, so that's that cross pollination piece. And that's it. And then we have free weights.
Yeah.
We have some Olympic lifting work that we do.
Mhm.
We have some classes there, and we have dumbbells and some
Yeah.
other traditional training tools. But we really work closely with a company called Escape Fitness,
Okay.
which is a great company, family owned for many years. I worked with this family closely
Yeah.
many years ago, and they their training tools are unique,
Okay.
different. They work with something called a Bulgarian bag. They have a core bag. They have a sand bag.
Uh-huh.
Things that we see today that may not be branded,
Yeah.
um, but their motto at one point was they don't want to be a house of brands.
Mhm.
They simply want to be a branded house, meaning when you walk into a studio, they're from London, so
Mhm.
very much into the design element. They
Okay.
want everybody to see Escape products, right? So they become a house of brand as
Mhm.
opposed to, wow, there's 30 different brands in here that
Right.
don't necessarily make sense. So Escape Fitness and TRX are our brands
Okay.
that we work with, and then our stages cycling.
Wow. But it sounds like a lot is happening that there's
Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, personally, my
Mhm.
philosophy is to keep our muscles guessing. We don't always want to do the same thing all the time.
Right.
I don't want to do a dumbbell curl for the next 20 years,
Yeah.
and that's fine for some. But
Right.
there are days we'll never use dumbbells.
Okay.
There are days where, well, every day we use a TRX, but there are hundreds and hundreds of exercises we do with the TRX.
Yeah. And so the people who come, clients who come to Embark,
Mhm.
they're doing a variety of these different machines and equipment
Yeah.
that you have.
Yeah, exactly. And I think our program, right, is really what is behind that. So it's not, when you walk into a training class, I'm sure you've been to many different types of classes. It depends on the structure of the class. And, we change our structure up. We train in blocks. So I think right now, this block we're in goes through the summer,
Uh-huh.
and then we shift into fall training. But
Okay.
this summer block is, it's 3 different days. Our first day is a pull day, so we're mostly pulling on things, and then we have a leg day, and then we have a push day.
Oh, I see.
So
Mhm.
depending on when you come, and most people are coming 3 to 4 days a week, they'll come to the pull day, they'll come to the leg day. We used to have the leg day at the end, and then based on feedback,
Mhm.
a lot of people want their legs to be not jello when
Yeah.
they try to go for a bike ride or,
Sure.
go for a run.
Yeah.
So we injected the leg day in the middle of the week
Got it.
as opposed to
Okay.
the Friday.
Okay. I understand. That's cool. So it's not like an open gym where you just do what you want. They come in part of a program knowing that Mondays, for example, is a pull day, Wednesdays are the leg day.
Right.
So you guys are developing the program that your athletes and
100%. Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
So
And
there's a
again,
lot
we
of
we train in blocks, and
uh-huh.
that's important for exercise science. I learned that many, 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 many years ago is, you want to progress
Right.
your
Your game.
athletes,
Mm-hmm.
and based on where they are in their uh, competition schedule, you periodize that training.
Uh-huh.
So if I know that Kate has, a big tennis match in 4 months, I'm going to periodize her training so that we build up and then we taper a
Mm-hmm.
bit before her match.
Got it.
And that's an important piece. Otherwise, you'd be
Of
overtraining.
course. Yeah.
You could get injured. There's a lot of things the training doesn't become as effective.
Uh,
So training blocks are a big part of it. But you mentioned that people just don't come in. They do as well.
okay.
So we do have an open gym
Got it. Okay.
during non-class times,
Uh-huh.
and we have a lot of cool technology in the studio
Yeah.
that folks can use. There's a tap screen, touch
Mm-hmm.
screen that you can go through that gives you workouts, or this is
Okay.
an escape product,
Got it.
which is very cool, or
Uh-huh.
demos of every piece of equipment that's in the studio.
Yeah.
So fun stuff.
Cool. So do you cater specifically to a lot of elite athletes here in Bend?
No,
No.
I wouldn't say
Mhm.
that. Again,
Okay.
I go back to this sort of mantra with TRX.
Yeah,
It's a
you're
very
democratic.
democratic
Yeah.
approach, and it's fun that way because in class often we'll have
A couple.
somebody who
Yeah.
just won some big race or competition or
Right.
what have you,
Uh-huh.
training next to, you know, somebody who's
Like
just,
myself, just
yeah,
wants
well,
to get
you're maybe not like you said, you're pretty conditioned,
I don't
but
know, but I
maybe,
was just like someone who likes to just not compete necessarily, but
yeah,
just
yeah.
to be yeah.
So yeah, that's the fun part, right? Is
Uh-huh.
getting those people in the room together. For
Yes.
me, that's really the ultimate for me. Like,
Yeah.
but I think we touched upon this at one point, which was the reason I'm so excited about doing what I do
Mhm.
is there are still so many people that don't do anything, right?
Yes.
And it's not because even they don't want to, they don't know how to get started. They don't know how to get motivated. They think they
It's not for them.
don't, yeah,
Yeah, it's
whatever
too
it is.
late.
And so I always appreciate every single person who crosses that threshold
Yeah.
into Embark Fitness to say, I'm here, I'm giving myself to you,
Yeah.
like, don't hurt me,
Mhm.
kind of thing. And they soon realize that, oh my gosh, why why haven't I not been doing this for forever or so long, or I stopped.
Yeah.
And that's why I always tell people, don't stop, keep moving.
Yeah.
Like there's, whatever it is you do. I don't care if it's CrossFit or high rocks, they're moving.
Yeah.
People are moving. So
Consistency.
yeah, super
Mm.
important. Yes, consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How has being so involved in this fitness world from your days from, at TRX, your tennis days,
Mhm.
now at Embark, how has this journey, Dorian, enhanced your own health and wellness? How have you evolved as an athlete, as a coach?
Yeah. Um, Another great question. Yeah, I mean, I think all of it has been a very organic journey. I don't think at any time I felt like this is what I'm meant to do, or I have to keep doing this.
Yeah.
This is something that every day is a new opportunity. It's a new day. It feels amazing. I
Mhm.
mean, as a coach, I just I it just makes my heart full,
I can imagine,
to
yeah.
work with people and see them sweat and smile and
Mhm.
talk and, have fun doing what they do. So for me, it's kept me grounded in that I have seen my own self be consistent with this for very many years.
Yeah.
And people have told me that over the years about showing up, right? Like just being there and being there for them
Yeah.
and them being there for me.
Mhm.
This is addictive. This
Yeah.
feels very good. It's a healthy addiction
I agree, yeah.
and it inspires me to want to do more personally. Like I
Sure.
love to ski, I bike, I love to play. I play baseball. I'm out there playing tennis.
Uh,
I continue to do all the things, and if ever I stop for a
yeah.
minute,
Mhm.
I realize this doesn't feel good. I need to be moving, and when I do, I feel good again.
Yeah.
So
Hmm. Yeah, it must serve as a lot of inspiration seeing people at different ages in life coming to Embark, starting maybe fresh, maybe trying
absolutely, yeah.
for the first time something that they haven't never done.
Yeah, yeah, and I know wherever we are, and especially here now in Bend, people have many choices,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
There's so many different types of studios. Legree, something new, just came to Bend. This
Uh-huh.
is Pilates, but a kind of a different way of looking at
Okay.
Pilates.
Uh-huh.
Um, People have tried it. People like it. Some people don't. But,
Mhm.
I think it's good that people see what's out there. They try new things. They give it a shot. And then they some people, this is why ClassPass, which is a product that uh, was purchased by MindBody not that long ago, which
Mhm.
is one of the platforms that I use for my business and many other studios use. ClassPass, which is an invention that allows you to buy a pass
Uh-huh.
that you can go to multiple
Oh,
studios.
I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you get deducted credits for using this.
Okay.
Um, Sadly, the revenue model is not good for the business owner, but
Yeah.
but it's good for people to be able to
To circle different studios and town.
absolutely,
Yeah.
like, if you don't if somebody wants to do yoga,
Right.
they use their class pass to go to yoga. Um, but if they wanna do something else, they did use their pass to do something else. So I think it's good for the industry that
Mhm.
allows people to try other things. Um, I don't know if it's as good for retention
Yes.
of membership,
Uh-huh.
for building your business, unless that person goes to one of your classes and realizes, like,
This
oh
is
my
it.
gosh, this is it. I
Mhm.
just want this. And then, which happens too.
Yeah.
So, um, but I think so much has changed with technology and
Uh-huh.
fitness, with again, private equity, consolidation. We're definitely seeing more and more of these conglomerates kind of take over. And, Bend is a community that's pretty tight. I
Mhm.
think when we first moved here, one of the big things was, buy local, spend local.
Yes.
Right. And I mean, I still hear it, but I don't hear it. I hear it only 5% of the time. It used to
Compared to
be
yeah,
90% of the time, like, buy local, don't
sure.
go to the big box, don't,
Yeah.
spend at other places, like,
Mhm.
help the local economy, which in the end, even if it's a franchise-owned business, yes, a lot of that money travels to the you know
Headquarters.
yes,
Yeah.
but some of the money stays here. You're paying instructors to deliver your product, and the person that owns it is hopefully making some money as
Yeah.
well,
Mhm.
but a good part of it leaves, and that's for me, that's the harder part. That's like, I still want it to be tight here.
Mhm. What keeps you in Bend with your family? Your son just is going
Yeah.
off to college.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
still
So
choosing
he just
Bend.
graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a special place. It's always gonna be a special place for me. I just love the access that, this is why we came here
Right.
initially,
Access to
was
nature.
I could, hop across the street, be on a bike trail. I could drive 25 minutes and be on the mountain,
Mhm.
hop in the river. All those things are
Yeah.
wonderful. And we have an airport. So, we can get
Yep.
to wherever
Mhm.
we want to get.
Mhm.
I always say that to people, we're a flight away from a lot of places, often 2 flights, but
Yeah. Or 3.
or 3, depending on where you're
Got it.
going.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, what's a non-negotiable for you in terms of your health and wellness or and fitness, Dorian? What's something that you must do, if not daily, almost every day?
Yeah. Um,
How do you stay?
That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I growing up in New York, I
Mhm.
think probably, like, it's in my DNA is to get up early.
Okay.
So I love getting up early. When I was in New York, I remember days that I would wake up, get on my bike, and ride down Fifth Avenue,
Ah,
going down one way coming at me
oh, wow.
with no cars. There would be nobody on the road
Uh-huh.
early. I'm talking,
Yeah.
4:30, 5 a.m.
That's very early in New York.
Was
Yeah.
very cool. Like,
Uh-huh.
it was something that has stuck with me
Mhm.
to until today, was, you hustle, you get up early,
Yeah.
and, you beat everybody to whatever it is. So I still love getting up early. Um, I like to work out early in the morning, and then when people and start filtering into the studio, it's a great feeling. And so I would say the non-negotiable
Uh-huh.
is, like, getting up early. I
Yeah.
love to get up early. Even when I'm on vacation,
Mhm.
I wanna be up early and go explore and
Yeah.
mess around.
Cool. Well, Dorian, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Audrey. This is,
Yeah.
I really appreciate the invite, and, I hope that, people get something out of this from me.
Yeah, for sure. And for those listening in Bend, where can they find Embark?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So, um, we are at 28 43 Northwest Lolo,
Uh-huh.
which is in the northwest side of Bend. If you guys know where Summit High School is, the football field backs onto Lolo,
Mhm.
and right on the opposite side is a big building called Embark, and we are part of that building. We're in
Okay.
there, Embark Fitness.
Yeah. Any plans coming up for Embark over the next couple months? Any projects?
Yeah, I mean, this time of year
Uh-huh.
now, we start doing more and more outdoors. So we have a lot of
Yeah.
outdoor workouts planned.
Uh-huh.
We don't work out in parking lots.
Mhm.
We work out on trails. We work out at lakes. We work out
Oh, you
on
take your
rivers.
classes out to the oh, that's wonderful.
We do. Yeah. And it's super fun because it, again, blends nature. It's
I love
organized
that.
fitness
Yeah.
outdoors, but again, not in parking lots, which I personally just,
No, I mean, living in the beautiful
yeah.
Bend, how can we, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's okay that
Right, but I
people
mean,
do
having the
that, and
option
that's
of
fine.
being out in nature, on a
Yeah.
river.
But it's
Oh,
something
that's
I promised myself many
uh-huh.
years ago is we're never going to work out in the parking lot. And
Okay.
everybody said, yes, thank you.
Oh, I love that. I didn't know that. Do you g but this is without TRX, right?
No, it's with
Oh,
TRX. We have
really?
a mobile fitness unit that we take out into the wild. We call it Embark Wild. And we have a rather large suspension frame on top of the mobile unit that we use for TRX workouts, as well as other gear, training tools. And it's just a great way to spend the summer organized fitness outdoors in our beautiful backyard of Bend.
Yeah, I can imagine that must be a favorite for a lot of your clients.
For sure. People love, I mean, obviously, we're in Bend. They love being outdoors, and this is just another way to get it in.
Wow, love that idea. Well, thank you, Dorian, so much for being here. Have an amazing summer, and I look forward to hearing what else you're gonna be doing with Embark.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Adri, for having me. Super excited for this summer for us, and hopefully, you have a great summer as well.
Thank you, Dorian.